Hi, this is Jen Schaefer. Thank you for joining me as I continue on with my planner series. This week, I am planning for July 24th through the 30th. To start out, I'm planning like I normally do by putting down my headers in the Today section. This is the last week, at least for now, that I'll be using these colorful headers from Planner Sticker Jubilo on Etsy. I wanted something bright, fun, and colorful, so I chose purple, orange, and green stickers that I thought would work well together and have a fun retro feel to them. When I'm happy where they're located, I also put down my to-do section and little things section as well as the heart checklists. I've been really liking the stripes of color down the page lately, so I'll keep the colors lined up as opposed to trying to mix things around. To start out with some functional decoration, I found this cute weekend banner on one of the Happy Planner sticker books. I love the mix of pinks and oranges that I think works really well this week, and I don't normally have a spread with a variety of colors that match like this. The banner is a little delicate and hard to place, and I end up tearing it at one point, but I think the end result looks nice and works perfectly with this week's bright colors. Next, I added my step trackers. I couldn't find colors that matched perfectly, but I found some that matched well enough in a Happy Planner sticker book. I lined up a dark teal in the green columns, a red-orange in the orange columns, and a dark pink in the pinkish purple columns. Next, I picked out some washi tape in bright pink, orange, and yellow-green colors. I'm going to use these to brighten up my side and bottom bar. I really want a nice bright look to my page, and these colors definitely fit the bill. I started out by putting a layer of pink across the bottom. Then I'll add in orange and green on top of that. I'll also add a layer of green below the pink because it fits in perfectly, but I don't get that on camera. I think these bright stripes of color are really going to work well as a backdrop for my images while stamping a little bit. One thing to note is the bright yellow is actually greener in person, so it does match the header stickers a little better than it shows on camera. Once I was happy with how the bottom washi was turning out, I also added a stripe of the middle color, orange, to the right side of the sidebar. Just add a punch of color to that area and continue my color scheme around the page. Next, I started stamping out my images. This is the last full week of my Christmas in July series, and in keeping with that, I have chosen another Christmas stamp set to use in a non-Christmas spread. This week I am using Baaah Humbug from Lawn Fawn as my main inspiration. I love these cute sheep and think they fit in any time of year, not just Christmas. My inspiration for this week actually came from the cute little scarf you could have the standing sheep knit. I love how this quirky idea of a sheep knitting a wool scarf and thought it would make a fun idea for the page. The balls of yarn from the set go perfectly with this idea and make nice space fillers. To continue on with the crafty theme, I found this cute pair of scissors from the Lawn Fawn Just For You stamp set that I thought would work perfectly to have the other sheep holding. I love how they fit in the sheep's hands perfectly. To finish off, I'm adding in a bunch of crafty themed stamps from Lawn Fawn stamp set Sewn with Love. This is a sewing themed stamp set that I think works perfectly with the stamps I've chosen so far and will help me fill in space in my planner. This set has some bobbins, buttons, a pin cushion, sewing machine, jar of buttons, and other accessories that I think look fantastic in this type of layout. I really wanted a wide variety of objects because I want to make sure each color in my color scheme was represented and that I had plenty of objects to fill in the space. Next, I was ready to start on my colors. I chose a bright pink, orange, and green for my accessories, as well as gray and a light peachish brown for my sheep, as well as some of the accents. This week, I'm using my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers to color. They are normally better on watercolor paper, but if you don't care about shading and want some bright pops of color, I've had luck using them on Avery sticker labels, which is what I'm using here. I am starting with my brown color to fill in the ears, hands, feet, and face of the sheep. Something to note is this paper sucks up a lot of moisture, so your colors are going to look a bit darker until they dry out. If you're concerned about a color, you may want to make a sample on some scratch paper to see if you're happy with it before using the color in your stamped images. This also might mean that your coloring is going to look a little streaky until it dries some as well. This week, because I'm using such a simple color palette, and because I know which colors I want to use where, I'm going an assembly line and coloring all the browns, then the grays, and so on. So, next I go in with the gray. I want white sheep, but I don't want them to look completely flat. So I'm taking a light gray marker and going along some of the edges to add shadow. I'm no expert on shading, and I mess up a bit on the first sheep, but I generally go with the idea that the light is in the upper right-hand corner just from a personal preference. That means all the shadows should be on the left side and below things. I think this addition adds a nice pop to the sheep and makes them look not as flat, while still keeping their white appearance. As with the beige, this color will lighten up some. You can see that when I add gray to the bottom ram, it looks a fair bit lighter than the sheep above it. For the ram's horn, I wanted to distinguish it somewhat, but I didn't want to add in any extra colors for this. So I colored it in beige and then added a layer of gray over it. This will make it look a little bit darker than the other places I colored beige. Then I went in and colored a few accessories gray or beige, and the rest were colored using bright colors. When I was finished with that, I cut the stickers apart, set them aside, and went back to my planner. Before I started officially decorating, I wanted to put in some more functional stickers. To start out, I found this cute full box sticker that says, "Don't be afraid to do something big," which is a wonderful saying in itself, and I really like the decorative green bar below the saying. With this sticker in place, I went over the loop in July that I'd cut off with the sticker. Next, I added in a plans block for my next week section. It's a small box, but I don't have a lot going on next week, so this should be fine for me. I like the box, but I don't like that it has the gold accent, because nothing else in my planner spread has gold this week. So, I covered it up with a note to self sticker with an orange asterisk. This covers up the color I don't want, plus adds in another accent of a color I do want. With those stickers in place, I can start adding in my purely decorative elements. I started with my larger pieces, the sheep and the sewing machine, to make sure I had plenty of space for them. Then I could go in and start filling in my smaller pieces where I thought they'd fill in best. I ended up pulling all the yarn balls out to save them for the top section, and that left me with plenty of decorations for the side and bottom bar. I decided to do a scene with one of the sheep and most of the sewing accessories on the left, and a scene with the remaining sheep and 2 buttons on the right, based on how the spacing would work out, plus trying to keep a balance of white space. There's a lot of open white space on the left, and the 3 sheep kind of balance this out on the right. For the yarn balls, I put them in the Today section, as well as on the sidebar, because they shouldn't take up too much space on these days. I purposefully put them on days that I didn't think I'd have a lot going on just in case. When I was happy with their locations, I stuck down all the stickers and focused on the balls of yarn. Using a black pen, I went in on each ball of yarn and added a stray piece of string. This fills in some of the empty space and anchors the sticker to the page. I tried to make the lines look different in each location, and in the case of the ones in the Today sections, I tried to keep the strings low to not take up too much functional space. With my decorations in place, I was ready to start filling in my plans for the week. To start out, I knew that I had these cute matching laundry baskets and a Happy Planner sticker book that would work perfectly for this week. Next, I decided to go ahead and fill in my plans for next week. I'm really excited that next week, and for the month of August in general, I'm going to be using sticker kits for planning. I've never used them before, but I've always wanted to try them, and since I know August is going to be really busy with the arrival of my son, I thought sticker kits might be a fast option for me to still be able to decorate my planner, but not spend too much time on the decorations. I'm really excited, and I hope you are too. Also next week, my cousin and her kids are coming to visit. They live far away and happen to be driving through, so we're going to get brunch with them at my parents' house. With that finished, I can start filling in my week. The first half of the week, my sister is in town, so every morning I tried to do something with her, my niece, and my mom. It was really nice to get to visit with them, and I know my son had a lot of fun bonding with his cousin. My sister has been able to visit a lot lately, but she probably won't be able to for the next couple weeks or months now, so I've been making an effort to see them as much as possible while they're in town, especially since she's staying with my parents, who live much closer to me now that they've moved. The other big event on Monday was that my husband dislocated his shoulder, so we got to spend the evening in the ER. He's doing much better now, but he was fairly uncomfortable for the better part of 3 hours. Luckily, I was able to drop my son off at my parents' house on the way to the hospital, so we got to spend an evening having fun with the family instead of spending a couple hours in the waiting room or hospital rooms. The rest of the beginning of the week, we had a few chores to get done, and I'm focusing on keeping the house clean by tidying up a little every day rather than putting it all in one day. My son could be here any time now, so I want to try to keep the house looking presentable in case we have to rush away. Wednesday, we also had a doctor's appointment. Everything is sounding great with my little guy, and we'll be back again at the doctor's next week. It's a little crazy that he's going to be here in a little over 2 weeks, and we're currently meeting with my doctor weekly to monitor how things are going. On Thursday, we have story time. It's the last session of the summer season, then they're taking a break, so I definitely want to go. Especially with it being the last time we'll see our current librarian, I want to be able to say goodbye. Friday, we hit 37 weeks in our pregnancy. Only 2 weeks at most to go after that because of our scheduled C-section, so it's certainly getting close. On Saturday, my best friend and I have a spa day planned. Our husbands got us massage and pedicure packages for Mother's Day, and we're finally cashing them in this weekend. I can't wait. After that, I added in a few more to-do items, including my YouTube tasks and my steps so far this week, and I was mostly done with this week's spread. To finish things off, I'm going to add in my little things section's memories later, but I want to start the area out. I normally only have 1 to 2 memories per day, so I thought this would be the perfect place to use some of the hearts from the Planner Sticker Jubilo heart checklist sheet. I placed a matching green, orange, or pink one on top of each section. Then, if I end up needing additional ones for that day, I can add them in at that point. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope you enjoyed my latest planner episode. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button, and if you'd like to see more like it from me, please subscribe. Be sure to check the description for further details, and I hope to see you again next time.